Joins me now, University of Ottawa epidemiologist. Ray, I thought that our days of chatting were over, but clearly on the 4th anniversary of COVID-19, here we are, yet talking about more vaccines.
It never ends, does it?
It doesn't end. I think people had vaccine fatigue. That's part of it. Part of it was the accessibility of getting their kids vaccinated on schedule because you wouldn't necessarily be going to see the doctor as frequently. But I don't think anyone had measles and the rise of measles on our bingo cards.
Well, I think we might be into a new age of infectious disease. These things are coming at us fast and hard, right? And that's happening for a number of reasons. Globalization, people encroaching into previously unoccupied animal habitats, and of course, the anti-vax sentiment, which is making populations newly susceptible to diseases we thought we were done with.
So we have seen polio cases. We're seeing the global spike in measles, and we're seeing Manitoba Health and other health organizations say, listen, make sure you're up to date, especially if you're going to be doing international travel. So explain, I was born in the 70s. I have been teetered, so that meant that my blood was checked because I couldn't prove it because we had paper records back then. I have immunity, but that number doesn't tell me how much immunity I have. So I've clearly had one shot. I can't have a second shot. I'm on a medication that says you can't have a live vaccine, which I understand the MMRV is a live vaccine. So then I'm at risk, right?
You're a little bit at risk. The shot you had before gave you pretty good protection, and your titers suggest you've got continuing protection. The trick here is to make sure we have community immunity, population-level immunity. So it's not just about you. This is a population-level endeavor. The goal here is to get immunity into as many people as we can, preferably above 95%. That's the magic number for measles. That way, the disease is effectively eliminated within Canada, and you don't have to encounter it.
Some may say, oh, come on, Ray, measles, typical childhood stuff. You live with an MD who would probably counter otherwise. This can be serious.
Be very serious. We forget that prior to vaccination, 1950s and before, measles was a killer. We had upwards of 50,000, if not more, cases per year in Canada. About 1 in 1,000 would die. But beyond that, you've got kids who are going blind, getting pneumonia, all kinds of long-term disability. It's not a good disease. It is one of our ancient foes that we defeated late last century, and now it's forging back. So do not minimize measles. Do not do so at all. It is a killer, particularly for babies and small children.
So there were, as you said, about 50,000 cases in the 50s. And then once we really got vaccinations into arms, what kind of cases was Canada seeing then?
It varies a lot. We get a handful every year, anywhere from fewer than 5 to a couple hundred, depending upon what kind of cases we're importing via travel. Nowhere near tens of thousands, at the most in the hundreds. Right now in Canada, we have, I think, more than we had all of last year, which is concerning. And people always ask me, so what? You're getting a handful of cases. We get that all the time. Well, it's kind of different now because now we have more susceptible people. The vaccination rates are so much lower, especially where I live in Ontario, for kids and measles, that the probability of exploding cases is pretty good. We don't want to introduce new cases in populations that have no immunity. And we're looking into some serious public health outcomes.
If you want more information about your health status, you can speak with your primary care physician, with your pharmacist, or any other healthcare professional you trust. Thanks for dropping by and spending some time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Raywat.